Okay, Abhinav, can you see me?
No, ma'am, you are not visible. The board is visible still, and there is a white.
No, you cannot see me.
No, ma'am, you are not able. The camera is near the board. Yes, ma'am, you are visible now.
I am visible now. बोर्ड पे चेंज हो गया. Hello, Abhinav. Now you can see
Yes,
the
ma'am.
board. Now you can see
Yes,
the board.
yes, ma'am. Board is visible still, but the it is ambiguous. The words are not clear, and there is a light spot too on the board.
Okay, wait for. Just wait for a minute. अभिनव,
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ अब तो नहीं लाइट दिख रही आपको?
No, ma'am. No light spot नहीं है.
अच्छा ठीक है. Okay, students, I will start with today's session. I hope now you can see my blackboard. If it is fine, please raise your hands. Okay. What we start compile a Java program or how we can write a particular Java program. Fine. So in any language, when we discuss this particular thing, that is, if we want to discuss that what is the basic structure of a Java program. So what we can do that obviously we will write that program in the form of a Java code, okay, and we will save that particular code with the help of extension dot Java. Okay, this is just a I'm discussing a brief. We can say that how a program is being executed in Java language. So we will be writing that particular code using that Java. Okay, and once we compile that particular code, we will get that bytecode over here. Fine. So what is a bytecode? In the last lecture also we have discussed in so much detail that what basically a bytecode is. Bytecode is that feature of Java that makes Java more, we can say that portable form. That what we say that it is machine independent code. This is a bytecode only that makes that a language, Java language, a machine independent language. So what will happen that when we compile that particular program, that is we are using .java extension over here, and we will compile that particular after that compilation, that particular program will be converted to that class form. Okay, so that compiled form will be in the form of that simple dot class. That means your extension of Java, this Java extension, or in the case of the source code, will be converted to the bytecode. How you can judge that this particular code is a Java code or a bytecode? That particular code will be having that extension of a dot class form. Okay, so once I will execute all those program, I will show you that how your program is being converted to that bytecode form. Okay, so this is here where you can use that JVM portion over there. Okay, that JVM will help you to convert that particular Java code into the bytecode form. Is it fine? Next is that once your next thing is that we will discuss now that what is basically a Java program, what is the structure of that Java program. Fine. So everything that we written in the case of a Java language, we mention that particular thing using a class. Okay. So Java is basically application programming language.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Your voice is a little bit low.
Okay. I just ensure that it should be in the normal tone. Now it's
Okay.
fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what will happen that we have basically we will discuss that what is the structure of a Java program. Okay. So first rule is that everything that you are writing in a particular Java language that should be written under a class. Okay. So why we say that it is should be under that class because we are writing, we are using this Java needs to run a particular application. So every application is in the form of a class only. Okay. So everything that we are using or we need to write a particular code that should belong to a particular class over there. Clear? Next is that we will mention the name of that particular class. Okay. So simple is any name, any identifier that you can give to that particular application or that particular code over there. So let's suppose in my case I am writing this simple. So class simple. This is my structure of a program in which I can use that particular name that is a simple for this particular application. Fine. Next is that we can use public static void main. Now, what is this public static void main? Public is any, we can say that SS specify that we need to show this class publicly to all the functions that we can, that we want to all the methods or any method apart from this class to we just setting that visibility mode of this particular method to all other components in my particular program. Okay, so public is there, static is there. Why we use static keyword? Because every class we don't want to have object for this particular class. Okay, so होता क्या है कि once we use a class, we cannot directly use a particular class over there. Okay, we need some object with the help of which we can use that particular class. But in my case, what happens that when I use the keyword static over here, we don't need to specify that object over here. Okay, so we can directly, because this is a method, main method over here, we can directly execute this particular class without showing any type of a object over here. So public static void. Okay, void is that, that is a return type that returns nothing. Then is the main part. Main is the main execution portion. Now this main method is that particular thing from that can, from which your execution will start. Like we have void main in case of that C++ language. Okay, so similarly we have a main method over here from where the execution of all that program will start. Fine. So we have public, static, void, main. Okay. Next is the string argument over there. String argument is that everything that is, this is used to transfer the command line arguments. Okay. So we can pass all those arguments in the form of a string, and all that arguments are in the form of an array over here. Okay. So it is used for that command line argument in case of this Java language. Is it clear? So somehow you will be feeling some different structure over this particular program, but after this board explanation, I will show you in my PPT also that how we can use this particular thing. Okay. Next is that, like in case of a C++, we use that cout, or in case of a C, we use that printf over there. Okay. So similarly, in case of a Java, when we want to show some output, we require a system class over there. System dot out dot println. Okay. So system is the class. Now just remember one thing. Anything that you are mentioning with a capital letter in case of a Java, that is your predefined class in Java. Is it clear? Now this, you are using this word simple. Okay, so that could be any identifier. It should be a small letter, it should be a lowercase or uppercase letter. But now you can see that now the string, in the string also this S is capital. That means it belongs to the string class. It is referring to that string class over here. Similarly, we have S capital over here. That means this is a system class. Now dot out is there. That also belongs to the print length class over here. This is the object of that print length class. Clear? Again we have dot println, that is a method of that print length class in the case of Java. So this is just a view over that how we can use this particular Java, that how we can show a particular method over here, we can show a particular message over here. We have system dot out dot println, and I am just showing this particular message. Clear? Now I have closed this particular class. Like first of all, I am closing this particular main method. Okay, here, and after that I am closing this particular class. So till now you have studied that in many cases we close that class with the help of a semicolon. So semicolon is optional in case of this Java. Okay, so either you can use it or you cannot use this particular thing. Your class will be automatically close in this case, particular case. Okay, so in this particular structure, this is just a little bit code snippet that I am using, that you just want to show a particular message in case of Java, in which that we have everything should be under the prescribed form, that is Java, that is class over here. Okay, that class will be particular thing in which you are using a main method through which you can run that particular program. Fine. So this is how you can show that particular message. You can display that particular message in case of Java. Now what will happen when you want to save this particular message? So you are using class simple. So and you will save this name by simple.java. Fine. Now what thing you must have to clear, that whatever is your class name, that should be same as that of your saved file. Okay. Now there are two commands that we use over here. One is Java C, that is used for compilation, another is Java, that you need to execute that particular. Okay, so you have that Java C and Java. Java C is there and Java. This both command we will use in that command form. So I discussed it earlier also that for discussing this particular language from the for the starting portion, I will be running all those program on that command prompt. And after the strings portion, when we will start that front end part in which we will be using that strings and all that, I will be using that ID portion. This is up to you. You can also use implement all those things in the ID version also. But I prefer you to use that the starting program. You must use that command prompt program. Okay, so you can run all this program on the command window. Fine. So what will happen when you compile this particular program Java C? So this program will be converted into that bytecode form. Okay. Now this is the bytecode. When this bytecode is generated, this bytecode is being a portable form. Okay, you can just carry this bytecode anywhere on any system. You don't need if that system is having that JVM, you can run this particular program on any type of a system that contains that JVM. Okay, so what will be the matter? You will, in order to compile your program, you require Java, C, simple, .java. Okay. When you need to run this particular program, you require Java. Simply write the name of your class. That is simple. Okay. So preferably what we do that we use the same name of that class while compiling that particular program. Okay. But let's suppose if you're using some another name also to save your file. Like I'm saving this particular file with the name simple1.java. Okay, so you can use simple1.java. That is fine. Okay, but you have to save this file with the name simple1.java. But when you want to run this particular file, you need to use that same word, that same name that you have mentioned with your class. Like you have saved this particular program with simple1.java. So obviously, when you compile this program, you will be using the name of that program, that is simple1.java. But when you want to run this particular program, you need to mention the same name of that class that you are using for that particular. Okay, so in that case, you require Java simple. Okay, so it will give you that output of that. Now, what will happen? I think this much is being clear to you. I will be discussing the same thing in your PPT also. The main thing, the main point that you need to just remember before the starting of my PPT, that the very first thing is that every program in case of a Java language is being mentioned in the class. Okay, so why we use class for any type of a program that is being run, or whatever the methods that are being defined, that are defined with the help of a class in case of a Java language. Why so? Because in Java we require some application program. For that application we require to use some particular class over. Okay. So first thing is that class. Next is that we require a main method. In any language there is one only main method by which you can run that particular program or functions in that particular process. So for that particular thing, we require public, static, void, main. Okay. So public is what? This is a set specifier that will be defining your visibility mode. So this particular class is public to all other classes. Okay. Next is that this particular method is being publicly accessed to the all other classes in your same thing. Static is there. If we for every class there is an object, but for main class we don't require any object. Okay, to execute a main class without the usage of any object, we use the keyword static over here. Then we have a return type void. Okay, that will define you that your main method is not returning anything. Next, we have a string argument over here. String is what? This is used for the command line. Okay, so in order to pass all those things in the form of a command, okay, in order to use that command line argument in the case of a Java, we use a string class over here, and we will transfer all those things in the form of a arguments. Clear? Next is that system dot out dot println. So again, in order to display some message, we require the system class, and we will be using that out object and println method for the print class. Okay, that will simply define your message over here. That is hello world. And after that, we will close this particular class. So once we will close that particular class, there are two things, that first to compile that program and second is to run it. Now if you remember your JVM part, okay, that we have discussed in the last lecture, what will happen once you will generate your class file? This is your class file. Okay, how you will able to know that which is your class file? Because you are using that extension dot class. So this is your class file with the help of a class loader. Now everything, whatever the things that I am discussing over here, we have discussed in so much detail in your last lecture. So this is your class loader over here that will verify all those things. Okay, that will load your particular class, that will check, link karega, that whether that bytecode is generated is in the right form or not. So bytecode will be verified. Next is the interpreter portion. In that interpreter, you will discuss that, you will check for any type of error is there or not. Okay. Finally, you will use that runtime in the execution engine in order to run that program, and that runtime will be dependent on any hardware on which you are executing that particular. Fine. So this is what are the different things. What these are some of the methods that you are defining, that you are using while executing a particular Java. So I hope you just make sure all these things in your mind, and I will be discussing again this through PPT. Plus, I will run that particular program on the system also, just to ensure that how a particular Java program is being run on that system. Okay? So I think I must proceed with this particular thing. Now see, this is again a simple program. The same thing that I mentioned on board also. Like we have created a class over here, that is a class simple. Clear? Then we have a public static void over here that will define you that what particular this is that is required for this main method. Fine. And next is the system dot out dot println. Now what is the purpose of all these things? Like why we require this Java, whatever the JVM has to always start with some application. Okay, so why we require, as Java does not have a concept of things outside of a class. So whatever the things that we need to mention in case of a Java, that should be under some particular class only. Okay, so this method is called by the JVM has to be in some particular class. So whatever the method you are using, that should be under some particular class over here. Clear? So, and because it is static, so no instance of this class is being created. So we have created this we have defined this particular method using the static keyword. That means we doesn't require any keyword any object for this particular class. Okay, so class, why I am focusing on this particular thing, class, again and again, just because okay, why I'm focusing on this particular word class, because many times student make this mistake that they don't doesn't use this particular keyword. Okay, they just simply write from this public static void main. Okay, which is not acceptable in the case of this Java language. So you have to use this particular class. Everything in case of a Java should be under some particular class, and in that particular class in which you are using that public static void main, your main method will be executed. Fine. Next is that this is same thing, that in order to compile or execute, we require javac and the java for that. These are basically tools that we use in order to compile and execute the particular Java program. Again, this is a simple code that we have created at Java. Code compiler is there, and after compilation it will produce you that simple dot class over here. Fine. Now next is this class keyword is used to declare a class in Java. Okay, public is what? That is an access modifier that represent the visibility. Okay, static is what? If we declare any method as static, that means it is a static method. So what will happen? The main method in executed in Java by the JVM. So जो main void main है, that will be executed by that JVM, but it doesn't require any object to invoke that main method. Okay, so in order to not to use any object to execute a particular to execute a main method in by that JVM, we use a keyword static over here. Void is there in order to mention the return type of the method. So in my case, which method I am representing, that is a main method over there. Okay, so main, what the return type of main is there, that it is not describing anything, it is not returning anything. Similarly, we have a string argument that is used for command line argument, and last may we have that system.out.println that is used to print that particular statement. Okay, so out is there to of that print stream class, that is the object, and println is the method of that print stream class. Okay, so this is how we can use. This is the simple first Java program and what parameters we use in this Java language. Fine. So we have, I think I have already discussed this particular thing through your this Blackboard teaching. Now I will tell you that how there are some things that you must understand, and there are some things that you must note while writing programs in Java. Okay, so we can, like what I am using, public static void main, but you can also interchange these two words. Okay, you can use static before that public, but you cannot change these two things. Why so? Because main is a method that cannot be moved anywhere apart from this particular string arguments, and void is a return type that has to be immediately mentioned with any type of a method. That I think you must understand that why, what we require return type for a particular method. Okay, now this is the subscript notation in Java array, that is I am mentioning with their argument. You can also mention this particular subscript with string, or at the starting of this argument, or at the end of this argument. Fine. So this is also one of the way that you can use this particular arguments. Next is that without, if you don't want to use that bracket, you can simply mention these three dots. That will also tell you that different arguments that you are using in the form of an array. Fine. Last, I already intimated you that semicolon is optional in case of a Java. So either you can mention it, either you can ignore that particular. Okay. Now these are some of the valid signatures, that method signature that you can use, like public static void main. This is a standard part. Okay. And this is where we can mention that this subscripts over here. Okay, so I have already discussed in previous slide. You can also mention with a string at the starting of your argument or at the end of the argument, or you can remove this particular brackets with the three dots. Okay, you can interchangeably use this static and public. So both the way are true. Either you can use public static or you can use static public over here. Okay. Similarly, we can use final with this. Now what is this final? Why we require that? We will discuss the topic of a final that you will be able to understand. Fine. Now these are some of the invalid main method signatures. Like you cannot use public void main. You have to use static with that particular thing. Why so? Because if you doesn't use that static keyword, it will ask you for that object for that this particular main class. Okay, so and you cannot, and you have to also mention your public access specifier with this particular. So this term is also not a valid signature because you have to show your class publicly. Fine. Clear? And you cannot use this abstract keyword, and you cannot mention that public void static main. That means that void has to be with this main part. Okay, you because this is a return type of a main method, you have to use that void with this main. Now I will execute one of the program, and after that I will ask for any queries if you are having with this particular first program. Now here let's suppose I am using this is my program. Okay, class hello public static void main. Now how many classes we are using in this particular program? One is your string class. Fine. How are you able to know that this is a string class? Because this S is capital. So any predefined class that you are using in your program, that name of that particular class will always start with the uppercase letter. Okay. So here is your second class is your system. That is a S. Again, you have to keep that S capital over here. Okay. Now what I will do? Let's suppose I save this class with some another name. Okay, so I am saving this particular class with the name first dot java. I will recommend you that you should also make one folder of Java programs, and you should save all those programs in that particular folder only. Okay, now see I have saved this particular class, particular this program with the name first dot java. Fine, this is saved. Now I will show you my folder in which my this particular program has been saved. So what was the name of my program? That was first. You can see first what type of a file it is. That is a Java file. Fine. So when you will open this particular file, okay, you will able to see all the contents of that particular file. Now I will move to my command prompt. Okay. Now I will execute this particular one. So we use two tools over in order to run that particular program. One is your Java C. Okay, I will show you side by side. See, now this is Java C. I'm using first dot Java. You can see this file. This is Java file. So till now we have not generated its class file over here. You cannot see any class extension for this first dot Java. Unless and until I will not compile that particular program, its bytecode or its class file is not being generated. Okay. Okay. So this is the we have compiled that particular first program. Now you see I will run this particular program. So when I run this particular program with the same name Java first, simply I will start running this particular program. So see, it will give you an error that particular class is not being found on this particular path. Okay, so why so? Because you can run your program with some another name. But when you want to, sorry, you can compile your program with some another name, but when you want to run that particular program, you need to mention that particular name only. Okay. So in my case, what will happen? Like I am using that name hello, fine. So you can see that when you run this particular program first, okay, your hello dot class is being generated. Same time, 10:49 p you have execute that particular, you have compiled that particular class, clear, and you will see your hello dot class file is being generated. How? Why so? Again, you see now I will run my program Java hello. Hello was the name of my class in which you are having that main method over here. Clear? Now see, I can print that particular hello. Fine. So again, I will show you one example because this hello class file was being generated already. So I think you have not noticed this particular thing. So I just changed the name of that particular class. So let's suppose I am using class CSE. Okay. Now I will save this file with as save as CSE dot Java. Fine. Now I am using same name over here, CSE dot Java. CSE was the name of my class. Okay. So I am saving that particular thing. Now I will move to, I will show you my folder in which you can see that CSE over there. Now you see, you can see this CSE. Okay. This is your CSE file. Fine. Now what type of a file it is? It is a Java file. Fine. So I will now run this, compile this particular program, Java C CSE dot Java. Clear? This is your Java file. I am going to compile this particular file, that is CSE dot Java. It is taking some time now. Now see, this is your bytecode. You can see this is your class file. This is your bytecode. Now this bytecode is being portable. Okay. Now you can transfer this bytecode. You can simply copy paste this bytecode and paste it to some another machine. You don't have to write that particular thing again and again, and you can simply run on that particular machine if that machine is having that JVM over here. Fine. So this was your Java file. Once you compile that particular program, your bytecode is being generated over here. Is it clear? Now you can go for that particular Java CSE. Okay. So you can see this output. Now when you will open this particular bytecode file, okay, you can see it requires some application to open. Okay. Or you can open in the form of, let's suppose I am using this notepad only and I need to open this file. So this file will be always in the form of a some encrypted data will be there. Now see, okay, you can see this particular source code. Now this is your bytecode over here. Now this bytecode is being transmitted. Fine. So it will encode all those things. Now it will pose your security also, and it will make your this language a particular, we can say that portable also. This is the bytecode. When after compilation it will be generated, it will be generated after compilation. Okay, now if somebody wants to ask something, he or she can raise your hand. I think you are clear with this execution part. This is quite easy, but the only difference is regarding your syntax only. And if you are satisfied with this part, I can proceed further. Can you please raise your hands? Okay, I can see your hands being raised. That means you are comfortable with this particular thing, na? Okay. So main thing, what after this particular class, you just understand the first small code over here. Okay. So you just see that what basically a simple hello example, what is the meaning of all those things. So there are two, three tips that you need to remember. First of all, one thing is that every program should be mentioned under a class. Okay, why so? Because we mentioned everything in the case of a Java language, we require a class over here. Okay, so everything is being defined under the class keyword. Second thing is that when you use a class keyword, when you want to run that particular program, first of all, you need to compile that particular thing. For that purpose, you require a Java C over there. Okay, that is for compilation. Only after the compilation your bytecode will be generated. That bytecode makes your system, that is only due to this bytecode that makes your language a machine independent language, because you can simply transfer that bytecode from one machine to the another machine. Fine. Next is that uh, always when you want to run that particular program, just remember that you have to run that particular program with the same name in of that particular class in which you are mentioning your main method. Now in my case, what is there that I am using only, you can see, I am using only one class over here, that is class CSC. Okay, so only one class is there where I am mentioning that main key. But in future there will be so many classes in your same program. Okay, so by which class you have to run your program, that particular class in which you are using one main method, and for every language there is a single main method only. Fine. I think this is clear to you that for every program there is only a one main method, and in case of a Java, which class you need to mention while compiling, that is the that particular class in which you are referring that main program. Fine. Now the next thing is that now what I will discuss with you, the next topic is that data types over here. Now I discussed you with earlier also that I will be discussing some of the polls with you. So these are some of the things that are simply you have done in your previous languages. What I want to show, I will just discuss all those things that is new to this particular language. Okay, that is new syntaxes or any semantics that are being that is being different from the another languages. Now first of all is the data types. So obviously you know that for any language two types of data types are there. One is your primitive data types, another one is your non-primitive data types. So primitive are the basic data types for any language. One is a boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float and double. Non-primitive data types included classes, interfaces and arrays. We will discuss all these things in this particular subject in future, in which we will be discussing in detail about classes, interfaces and arrays also. Now Java primitive, like we have a boolean, 8 byte is there, char is there, short, so on. Now these all are the default value, or we can say that default sizes. Now here you can see that this is somehow new. What basically data type is different in case of a Java is that we require this default value in which we are using this Unicode over here. Now the default size of this char also is also 2 byte. Okay, whereas in another language we use 1 byte, but in case of a Java we use 2 byte. Now why char uses 2 byte in Java, and what is this particular thing? It is because Java uses a Unicode system. Okay, you just remember this particular thing. Java uses a Unicode system, not a sky code system, not a sky code system. Okay, so this dash u and 40 is the lowest range of your Unicode system. Now the next question is that why Java uses Unicode system? Because Unicode is basically a universal international standard character encoding technique. So before Unicode, what happens? that we have used that sky ISO, and all these were the different standards that are being used. Now what was the problem? That there were different letters in various language standards. Okay, so you know, why we say that Java is a quite a, we can say, versatile language, that it includes everything. Now if you remember now, there are so many devices that are based on Java. So main challenge for this language was that to include everything that we require, include all the character sets that are available throughout the world. So for that particular system, for we started a new language standard was developed, that was Unicode system. Okay, so in that Unicode system, for that particular Unicode system, character holds a 2 byte. So Java also uses 2 byte for that characters. So it was its lowest value and the highest value. That's why we mention Unicode system in this case of a Java. Okay, so this is one of the turning point in case of a data types if you are using in case of a Java, that always sometimes in 2 marks question or general question it should be, it may ask in the papers, that what basic this standard is being used by Java. So you have to say that Unicode system we use in which character holds 2 byte system. Okay, so character holds at 2 byte of that. So type conversions are there. I think this thing is very much clear to you. What is this type conversion? You have already done in your previous languages also. Like you are having widening and shortening is there, or automatically type when two types, what are two condition for that? That two data types should be compatible. And when we want to assign a value of a smaller data type to the bigger data type. Now this is your byte, short, int, long, float, and double. So you can see that double is that particular thing which is having size greater than all those things. So when simply when you want to convert this byte to short, int, or double, it will automatically get converted. You don't need to explicitly define all those things. This process is known as widening or automatic. Similarly, we have a narrowing part in which we want to the target type specify the desired type to convert specified value. Okay, so where this narrowing happens when we assign a value larger data type to a smaller data type. So that is known as a casting or a narrowing is there. So you have already done all these things. So I will not be going in so much detail. You just go through your book, or you can follow my notes that I will give you after this session. And if you feel like any problem, you can discuss afterwards. Okay, so type promotions are there that automatically, let's suppose, is there any expression in which you are using byte, short, char operand. Okay, so it will automatically get converted to the integer. Okay, so this is known as a type promotion in expressions. So when in expression you are using multiple things, okay, multiple data types, so it will automatically go to the higher data type that is having more size than that. So in case of where you are using byte, short, or char, it will be automatically converted into the integer part of it. Now this is the simple concept, simple PPT I have made on data type. Why so? Because everything is same as you have done in your previous languages also. The only difference is that in case of a Java, we require 2 bytes for this character format. And why a character? Because we follow that Unicode system. Okay, we are using this Unicode system. Why Unicode system? Unicode system is being used because we want to include all those standards. Okay, we want to include all those standards that are available throughout the world. Okay, and also, and we want to include all those character sets that are available. So Unicode system was a new character set that has been introduced. Fine. So I think I am done with this particular thing. Now I want to discuss one poll with you. Okay, so are you ready for that? Are you ready with this particular poll? I think we have discussed so many things. So just in order to just this brush up your mind and discussing one poll with you. Okay? So that is quite easy. That poll will be based on that data types only. So you can just see that how we are having total 3 question in the data type poll form. So you can take your time. I will give you 5 minutes and we can start with this particular. Okay, students, there could be some I discussed with earlier with also with you also in the last lecture that this type of teaching is quite difficult, है ना? Once we are used to with that classroom teaching, so there could be some situation where I could be a little bit faster, or I there could be some doubts in your mind. But you just don't worry about that. You just keep all those things, and you can call me afterwards, or after during this session also. In the end, if we feel like we have some time, so I can discuss all those things with you. Okay, so I'm just making all those session in a very compact and a brief way, so that you can just learn the new things, and rest of the things you have a time of a week, and you can go for or you can just allocate your Monday to this Java subject, and you can discuss, you can revise all those things that we have done in the in today's class. Fine. So shall I launch that poll? Can you please raise your hands? Okay. Okay, student, I think we are done with this. Okay, two students are left. I don't know why so, but I am just going to end this particular poll, and I will be sharing you with you the results of this poll. So, okay, students, can you share these results? Kindly raise your hand if you can see the screen. Yeah, fine. Okay, the first question was that like we have given this particular variable and I'm just printing this particular variable. So what will be my answer? That it will be what that is obviously it is a compiler error. Why so compiler error? Because the in case of this particular program, the local variables now this s is my local variable. Okay, so it must be assigned a value in order to before assessing this particular variable I need to assign this particular value for this local variable. So here I am not mentioning any particular value for this variable, so that's why it will always focus on a it will always give a compile time error to me. Clear? So this compiler C option is the correct one. Now the next question is that which of the following is the smallest integer data type? So small obviously byte is the right answer. Okay, so I don't think so that any explanation is required for that. Int and short is not there. Whomsoever who have clicked on this particular thing, no, int and short is not there. According to the size, byte is the shortest one. And which of the coding types that we use that I just discussed with you, that Unicode is the system. Okay, so I just 83% of you have given the answer Unicode. That means 83% of you are active listener. So that is quite good. And sky is not there and isolation is not there. Okay, so thanks for your this particular. Thanks for this giving your feedback on this poll. So I just move to the next topic. Now the next form is the operators form. Okay. So operators में what we have that what we need to discuss over here, that obviously operators you have in every language you have discussed all these operators. Okay. So operators is what that when we want to perform something. Okay. So that is a symbol that is used to perform some particular operation over there. Okay, that is known as a operator. Like we have a plus, minus, multiplication, arithmetic operators are there, logical operators are there, shift operator, relational. So I think each and every operator you have discussed in your previous languages. So I will just go through all those things. Like we have a unary operator is there in which we use postfix, prefix, arithmetic is there. Okay, shift operators are there. Okay, next is the comparison, equality, bitwise. So each and every operators we have discussed in this particular we have already discussed in the previous languages also. So there is one new type of operator, that is this type of a shift operator. Okay, so many times you have used this operator over here, but in case of a Java, we have one more type of a shift operator. Like you can see this over here. Okay, there is a third type of a shift operator that we use. So when we use this operator with a positive number, it works same as that of that right shift. Okay, so when we have to use this particular operator with the negative operator, so it will change that parity bit, that is the most significant bit, to the 0 form. So I think this should be done with the help of some example, but not in today's session, but in the next session I will be discussing that when we will be discussing what is the purpose of this particular shift operator. Okay, so Meanwhile, yeah, the answer will be just changed, that it will be technically changes that parity bit to the zero form. This is the main difference that you must remember. So many time in exams are asked that this type of which new operator is being introduced in Java. So you just mentioned this shift operator with three signs, this three of this brackets, that will tell you that if you using this operator with the minus form, it will be converted this particular thing, that parity bit MSB bit to the zero bar. Now there is another question that is being asked in case of this particular Java part. That one is thing is that logical and the bitwise AND. So what is the difference between this logical and the bitwise AND? So what happens that logical AND operator doesn't check second condition if your first condition is being false. Okay, so it is required in case of a logical operator that your first condition should be true, then only it will check for the next condition. Okay, but bitwise AND may it doesn't execute like this. It always check the both condition, whether first condition is true or false. So this is one of the, I think I just want to share with you that this is small question that may come in your exams, like or it could be a small, you can say brain shoot question, brainstorming questions could be there, that what is the difference between logical and the bitwise and which new operator that is being introduced in case of this Java language. Okay, so we can, you just remember this particular shift operator where if it is being used in the positive number, it will work same as that of this shift operator, right shift, and for the negative number it will always change that parity bit to the zero form. Okay, so I will just discuss some of the example with this particular operators in the next session, but meanwhile you can just practice by things your own, because you have already done all these things in your previous languages. Clear? Now, like this type of example is there. So we have the value of A equal to 10, B equal to 5, and C equal to 20. So when we are using this logical, so A is less than B, this is false. So it will not check for this A less than C. Okay, because 10 is not less than 5. Okay, so when we use the single AND operator, that it has to go for the both operators. It has to check the both condition. Okay, so either this particular condition is false over here, but still it will go to that A less than C. So it will check for the another condition also. So this is some of the technical things that I need to discuss with you. That is an operator. So I discussed with you earlier also that I am not going in so much details in this particular topic. From your next session, that is from your next class, we will be discussing all those things that are preferably used in case of Java. So today's your first lecture was regarding your introduction about Java. Second lecture was that how all those things that we have already used in the previous languages, and what are the some new concept that has been added to your this Java class, this Java language. Okay. So again, I am sharing with you one poll with you that is based on this operators. So don't worry, just give your answer best of according to your knowledge. Why so? I just you can just go through your mind that how you can use all those things in this particular language also. Okay. So there is no need to panic. You just stay calm and just attend all these polls. So shall I share poll with you that is based on operators? Yes, I can see your hand being raised. Clear? So this is another poll that you have already done all those operators. I just want to discuss with you that how much you remember regarding these operators in your previous language. So we are having total two questions based on this operator. So I am going to launch this particular poll. Okay, students, hurry up. 2, 3 students are left. Okay, students, I am going to share with you the results. Okay, so you just see this. Now, what was the first question that it was asking you that what type of a expression 1 is used to evaluate the ternary operator as in this line. Okay, so what is this ternary operator? That we have a condition over here, and if that condition is true, then it will go to expression 2, and if it is false, then expression 3 will be executed. So always what type of expression should be there? It should be a boolean type. Okay, so it should be always a true or a false type of condition. So we have a boolean type of a condition, not any floating or integer over here. So kindly check those students who are marked for integer or floating, that it is a boolean type of a condition should be there. Next is that we have given with some this class operators, and where we are given with two variables, and there is a third variable. Now what type of expression it should be include? So many times you'll see that we follow a precedence rule over here. So you know that plus plus, that is the increment operator, has the highest precedence than this division or a plus one. So what will be there, that a variable 2 is first incremented to this 7, like variable 2 was 6 and it will be first incremented to 7. Then we will multiply this 7 with 5, that is variable 1, and that is 7 plus 7 multiply 5, that is 35, and then we have 7 plus 7, that is 14 over there. Okay, so it will finally give you the answer 12. So most of the students have given, like in this case 82% of the student has given the right answer, and that here 55% has given this particular answer. So such type of a question should be there in your exams also. So that doesn't require any you can any fixed knowledge about that. You have already done all these things in your previous languages also. So the concept will not change, concept will remain the same. Only there is a difference about some of the, you can say that some of the key new words terms we are finding, or some of the syntax difference in syntaxes will be there. So thanks for your this response to this particular polling also. So moving back to this slide. Now we have a next structure, that is of control statements in Java. Now this control statements in Java. So you have what is a control statement? Now this is also one of the things that you have done in your previous languages also. Now, what is this control structure? Control statement. Control statement is basically in which you control a particular execution. Okay, so this is how you manage your statements, how you control the execution part of your program, that is being mentioned in your control statement. So we have a selection statement. Obviously, you have done this if else, nested if. If passive, jump statement are there, break, continue, and return. So all these statements, that the concept will remain the same that you have done in the previous languages, but still we can discuss one or two, that like we have a switch case over there. So that there is a multi-way branch statement. It provides easy way to dispatch execution to different parts of a code. Clear? So there are some points that you must understand in this case of Java. That expression could be of any time, that is byte, short, int, char, or any numeration. Okay? So duplicate case values are not required, that you cannot repeat that case values again and again. So default statement is optional over here. So sometimes like in this particular thing, you have written that default statement. So if you don't require this particular statement, that will also work. Okay, so the break statement is used inside this way to terminate a state statement. So which another statement that you use in the switch form, that is your break statement. So you can also skip this particular statement. This is break statement is also optional, and if omitted, execution will continue on the next case. So it is up to you that you want to use this break statement or not. Fine. So this is how you can use all those things. Next is that jump statements are there, like we have break, continue, and return statement. So in Java, break is majorly used to terminate a sequence in switch, to exit a loop, or it is a civilized form of a goto. So in Java, we don't have any goto statement. On behalf of that goto statement, you can use that jump statement over here. Clear? So these are some of the expressions that I need to discuss. Like we have break statement, you enter a loop, you will test for that particular loop. If that particular condition is true, you can break that statement and you can easily move from that program. You don't need to execute the remaining body of the loop. This is the functioning of this break statement. Okay, so you can also use that go to break as a form of a go to. Like you can use Java has a new keyword, that is a label, that is used to identify a block of code. Okay, so on behalf of that go to, you can also use label over here. Fine. Continue is there, that is used to force an early iteration of a loop. So when you want to continue that running of the loop, but you don't want to stop the processing of the remainder of the code, at that time you may use this code continue part. Okay, so like this, you are entering a particular loop and that particular thing is false. Test expression is false. Okay, for that case, you just run that statement that is just below the loop. But if that particular thing is true, you can again go to that to check for that same expression. So it will work upon unless until your expression doesn't get false. Okay. So in continue also you can give some particular condition over here, and if your condition is true, then only you can repeat to that particular test expression. Otherwise, you can again go to that. If your condition is false in case of continue statement, then your remaining body of the loop will be executed. So I hope you have done already all these things in your previous languages also. So some of the concepts are same. Okay, or you can just go through all these things, because I don't think any need of doing or discussing all these things again and again with you. So this is up to you, that you can how you can enhance, you can revise all those concepts. But in this particular case of control statement, nothing is new. Everything will remain that you have already done in your previous languages. Now again, students, I am having some poll with you that is based on this control statements. So I'm just sharing that screen with you, and you can just, we have total 3 questions in this particular poll, and I'm going to launch that particular poll. Okay, students, kindly hurry up. Okay, I just noticed one problem in third question, that some else part was not given. So we can just skip that particular question, or I just discuss with you that what basically was a thing asked in that question. Okay, student, I'm just going to end this poll. So I will be sharing with you the results also. Okay, the very first question was that like if we are given with this a less than 0, now in our case a is not less than equal to 0. Okay, so directly what will happen, since the first condition is not met, so control will not go inside of if statement, so it will automatically come to this particular this, it will skip all this block and it will automatically come to this particular block. And what will be the answer in case, in this particular case, that is will be 3. Clear? Next is uh, that that from where break statement causes an exit. Okay, so only from innermost loop terminates a program, only for innermost switch, or both the things. So obviously a maximum student given the right answer. Yes, it is used for the innermost loops also, and plus for switches also. Fine. So now what was being confused, this problematic part in this particular question, that I was unable to, I show that else portion over here. So in else portion, I was having that statement SOP, that is system dot out dot print plus plus variable 2. Okay, plus plus variable 2. So what do you think? Now we just skip this particular pose because this was this question was particularly incomplete. So according to, if you are listening me correctly, you can just tell me that what will be the right answer could be in this particular case. Like I am just incrementing the value of, I'm using the prefix operator to just show in the else part, that is SOP plus plus variable 2. So what will happen, that variable 2 is initialized to 1. Okay. Now this 1 is not equal to this 5 part, that is variable 1. Okay. So the conditional statement gets false. So in the else portion, I was using plus plus variable 2. That means I have initialized that value variable 2 to 1. Now it is value, now its value will be converted to 2. So what will be the answer for this particular condition? That was 2 over here. Okay. So I don't know by just a guess. Most of the students have given the answer of 2. So that could be the that is the basically the right answer if we use that condition of the plus plus variable 2. So, okay, student, fine for today's session. So, I think you all are comfortable with today's session. We have discussed three things. Actually, I want to discuss arrays also, but there was some lot of time has been done on that first program in Java. So that arrays is being left. Array is the portion that we have left for today's session. But don't worry about that. We'll be discussing that particular array portion in the next class. So for the topics for the next class will be arrays and the strings portion. Okay, so any students if any student is having problem, he or she may contact me afterwards also. So I would like to ask something some students about the today's session. So Amit Yadav is there. Amit Yadav, can you hear me? Amit Yadav is there or not? Aditya Sharma, Aditya Sharma is there or not?
Hello.
Hello, yes Aditya,
Yes, ma'am.
your voice is not audible. Hello.
Hello.
Aditya. So
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
tell me what are the new things that we have done in today's class?
Ma'am, basically we learned from previous languages. We learn some previous concepts of languages, and we learn operators and some operators and some uh,
So are you
programming methods.
okay? That's fine. Are you comfortable with the structure of the program
Yes, ma'am.
that has been clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know why we use this class? I'm again and again I was giving emphasis on that particular class word. That why we are using this class over here. Because every application in Java will work under a particular class. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so the class that is having that main method will not be using any object over there, because we can access any class with the help of object only. We can access any class with the help of object only, na? But in
Yes,
case where we are using main method, we don't require any object for that. That for that thing we require static keyword over here.
that the keywords. Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you thank you this Aditya. Abhishek Mahajan is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Abhishek, how are you? Abhishek, I'm unable to hear you. Abhishek, can you unmute me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Good, ma'am. I'm good. How are you?
I am fine also. Okay, tell me, you are liking this language?
Yes, ma'am.
This
This
is
is
somehow
much.
different. This is somehow different from that C, C++. I don't know
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
much about this Python language. For that thing also, matlab, some students feel like that is more Java is more complex than Python
Yes,
because
ma'am. It
you
is a bit complex, but it is different from them also. So it is very interesting.
Okay. Now, till now, we have discussed all those things that you have already done in your previous languages.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So when we start with the current, all those topics that are related to Java only, like we are discussing packages, interfaces, that topics are very interested, and you will able to learn so many new things over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm just trying my to make not to make my session such boring by giving you lot of bigger programs. I just making in a brief way, so you can just analyze all those things and you can discuss all those things that you have already done in your previous languages.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
by your own. This is my main target, but when they will be focusing on the particular topic, obviously I will be discussing each and everything in very much detail.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Dimanshu is there. Divanshu, can you please unmute your mic? I think Divanshu is sleeping. Abhinav, kindly shake him after this lecture. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Divanshu, are you there?
Yes,
Okay. Are you present during the session?
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. What new things we have done
Yes,
in today's class?
ma'am. Ma'am, this is my first lecture.
Okay.
So,
You haven't attended the
uh,
last lecture.
uh,
I think you haven't attended. I marked
yes,
you
ma'am. This
absent
is my
also.
first lecture.
Okay. So you are feeling some
So
problem
today
over
I
there?
have no, ma'am. Actually, there was a misunderstanding due to lectures. I thought
Okay.
it was in evening, and so I missed my
Okay,
lecture.
that's fine. But in today's lecture itself only, I started with this program part. So there were some concept that I was using JVM and all that. In the previous lecture, we have
Yes,
discussed
ma'am.
only that particular thing. Okay.
Okay.
So you haven't missed so much regarding that has been discussed in the previous lecture. But in today lectures itself, we have started with this programming portion. Clear? You can get that
Okay.
notes from Abhinav if you feel like any problem in the last lecture, you
Okay,
can
ma'am.
discuss with me. Okay? But there is nothing like that there that you won't be able to understand. Because in the
No,
last
no, ma'am.
lecture,
I was able to understand everything. It's
okay,
just
that's fine.
that some of the lines I was yet to answer it. But yeah,
Okay. Okay, that's fine, Divanshu. Okay, wait.
yeah, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Jugraj is there? Jugraj. I'm sure he's not attending the lecture. Jugraj, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay, did you like this subject?
Little bit.
Little bit. Okay, what do you think that what are the different concepts that you have done so far that is not present in your previous languages?
मैम लेते इतना कुछ पल्ले नहीं पिया
अच्छा लैंग्वेज है ना फिर थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम तो आएगी आपको
हाँ जी
but it is not so much difficult. We have
हाँ
a
जी
small bit code only, and everything is and so many interesting things you will be able to understand in your coming sessions also.
यस
Fine.
मैम
So what
यस
I
मैम
suggest to you, and if some student, this message is for all those students who have a little bit interest in languages, that you must start and you must work according with me. Okay, like in today's lecture, we have discussed a simple program. Okay, so you can go for that particular program. You see how that class file is being generated. What is that bytecode? You just transfer that bytecode to some another machine, and you will see that you can simply do this transfer that data from one machine to the another machine. Fine. Okay. Sharan is there. Sharan, can you please unmute your mic?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Sharan. How are you?
Fine, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. This is the this language. You have done this language earlier.
Ma'am, I started some weeks.
Sorry.
Ma'am, this language I have started a few weeks back.
Few weeks. You are attending some online course.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine. That is good. Okay, you can go for that. And most of
Yes,
the concepts in our syllabus, we have a very good syllabus regarding this Java, and we are covering all those subjects also, all those topics also.
yes,
So
ma'am.
most of the topics that are being new in this particular language are available in our syllabus also. So you
Yes.
understood the concept of this bytecode today, in today's lecture,
Yes, ma'am.
that how this bytecode file is generated
Yes, ma'am.
and why it is
Absolutely.
portable, just because of that is bytecode, and
Yes.
security is also because of this bytecode. Fine.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Fine, bete. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, Vijay, I think for today's session, that is all for that today's session. So I just, in the end, I just request you all that you must implement at least one program related to this Java, and you just cover up all those concept of this data types, whatever the new things that has been in this particular language. I have discussed with you that you can practice all those things, okay, and you just make ensure that you are quite familiar with the syntax of this public static void main system.out.println, because from next time I will be using all those things in the program itself. Okay, so you must understand that what is a class, how we mention a class in case of a Java. There are a lot of inbuilt classes that we use. Like in today's program, I told you that we have used system class, and we have used that string class over here. And for every inbuilt class, the first letter of that class is always being mentioned with the uppercase letter. That is the main identification of that class. Fine. So you can go through all these concepts. If you feel like any problem, you can discuss with me afterwards. Clear? I think I am done with this meeting. So thank you very much. And hopefully we meet for the on the next session with some new concepts and new this all those concepts and information related to this Java subject. Thank you.